We are building the future from first principles, manufacturing things humanity has never seen, while you just sit back and judge the panel gaps from a studio.
First principles are great, but the consumer lives in the real world, and in the real world, a finger-sized panel gap on a $100,000 truck is a manufacturing failure, not
Early production is always agonizingly slow, but we iterate faster than any company in history. The physics of manufacturing at scale dictate the learning curve.
You aren't just selling a learning curve, you're selling a 500-mile promise for $40,000 and then delivering 300 miles for $70,000 instead.
The macroeconomic environment changed, and physics requires trade-offs. We still delivered the most iconic, polarizing vehicle on the road today.
Definitely iconic, but being polarizing doesn't fix a loose door latch or unbaked software features that users have been paying for since 2000.
Autonomy is an incredibly hard AI problem. We are solving it with pure vision, because that's how humans navigate, and the data shows we are safer than human drivers.
Pure vision means your cars are actively guessing distances instead of using LiDAR or radar that could actually confirm them. The tech just isn't bulletproof.
LiDAR is a local maximum. Anyone relying on it is doomed because it doesn't adapt to a dynamic world. Our neural nets learn from billions of miles of real-world driving data.
Data doesn't stop a car from almost driving into a lake on FSD. A regular driver doesn't need to babysit a full self-driving system every 5
The first production Cybercab just rolled off the line at Giga Texas. Completely ahead of schedule, we are going to sell it to consumers for under $30,000.
Rolling a prototype or a pilot unit off an unboxed assembly line is one thing. Reason. The core of the hairbet argument centers directly on the physical delivery versus production concepts. Actually delivering a car with no steering wheel or pedals to a customer at that price point before 2027 is a completely different story.
It is going to happen. I explicitly confirm the timeline and the price. Your skepticism is just a lack of understanding of our manufacturing revolution.
I understand the manufacturing. I also understand your history with timelines. If a consumer buys a functional, street-legal Cybercab for 30 grand by 2027, I will literally shave my head on.
Get the clippers ready, Marques, because the team is executing at a level that will make that bet happen sooner than you think.
I've had my hair a long time, Elon, and I feel completely safe because you've been promising next year for sure on autonomy for an entire decade.
We had to completely rewrite the AI stack multiple times, but the end-to-end neural networks have finally broken through the bottleneck.
Even if the software breaks through, federal regulations won't just let a car without a steering wheel drive around without remote supervision or strict safety oversight.
The regulators will have no choice but to approve it once the statistical safety data shows that human-driven cars are a massive liability by comparison.
Regulators move slow, and your current crash data with pilot programs in Austin means they're looking at you under a microscope. You can't code your way out of federal law.
You used to be objective, but the moment you sold your Cybertruck for a Rivian, you let the social media narrative dictate your coverage because the anti-Tesla algorithm gives you clicks.
I kept the Rivian because it fit my daily life better, not because of a narrative. I give honest reviews, and if Tesla can't handle a reviewer calling out real flaws, that's a corporate problem.
We don't need traditional PR or advertising because our products speak for themselves. But when reviewers act like media traditionalists, the communication stops being useful.
Cutting off press cars and unfollowing reviewers on X because they didn't give a flawless review doesn't change reality. It just means I have to get a Model Y from a local dealer to do my job.
The local dealers have the actual production cars that customers buy. If you review those, you'll remember that we are still years ahead of the entire legacy automotive industry.
I explicitly said the Model Y is still ahead in charging infrastructure and efficiency. But companies like Lucid and Rivian are catching up fast on build quality and software.
Lucid is surviving on government subsidies, and Rivian's trajectory is incredibly difficult. Manufacturing an EV is hard, but achieving mass profitability is almost impossible. We are the only ones who did it.
You did it first, absolutely. But being the first to scale doesn't give you a permanent pass on declining customer service, interior material shortcuts, or removal of basic physical stock.
Stocks are redundant inputs. The car should automatically know whether you want to go forward or backward based on context and your navigation destination.
Having to swipe on a touchscreen to put a car in reverse when the automated system guesses wrong is an unnecessary step. Sometimes traditional engineering just works better.
Traditional engineering gave us decades of boring, incremental updates to gas-powered vehicles. We took the risk to make driving fun, futuristic, and exciting again.
Innovation is great when it improves the experience, but replacing physical door handles with buttons that leave fingerprints all over the stainless steel feels like change for the city.
The stainless steel exoskeleton provides unmatched structural safety and durability. It requires an entirely new metallurgy that we invented ourselves.
The exoskeleton is tough, sure, but it also creates massive crumple zone questions and a heavy footprint. A tech product shouldn't trade practical utility for a sci-fi aesthetic.
Humanity needs sci-fi aesthetics to inspire them about the future. If the future is just utilitarian boxes, it's not a future worth looking forward to.
People want to look forward to the future, but they also want to look forward to their car working reliably every single morning without a software glitch.
Our reliability metrics are exceptional compared to legacy vehicles when you factor in the sheer volume of advanced technology operating simultaneously in our fleet.
Products get evaluated on user experience. If a smartphone software update broke basic functions, it would get slammed. Cars shouldn't be held to a lower standard just because they are.
Smartphones don't have to navigate 3D space at 60 miles per hour while preserving human life. The engineering constraints are fundamentally on a different level of magnitude.
Exactly, which is why releasing features labeled full self-driving while they are still in beta puts the testing burden onto regular consumers who might not realize.
The consumers know exactly what the system is capable of, and they use it because it drastically reduces the cognitive load of driving on long road trips.
It reduces cognitive load right up until it forces an emergency intervention. I want the autonomous future as much as anyone, but I want it rooted in reality, not hype.
Hype is just what critics call an ambitious goal. Before it succeeds, we made reusable rockets reality when everyone said it was impossible, and we will do the same for autonomy.
Space and consumer roads are completely different environments. You control the launch pad, but you don't control the random pedestrian or the erratic driver on a city street.
The neural nets train on millions of those exact random edge cases every single day. The intelligence of the system is scaling exponentially, not linearly.
Exponential growth still has to meet the hard wall of reality. We've seen the hardware change from hardware 3 to hardware 4, and now AI 5 is delayed to mid-2027.
The hardware iterations are necessary to support the massive compute requirements of true intelligence. We build our own silicon because nothing else can handle the workload.
But every time the hardware shifts, the early adopters who bought the original promises get left behind with obsolete rigs. That's a tough pill for a consumer to swallow.
They bought a ticket to the vanguard of human engineering. The alternative is stagnation. We will always push the boundary of what is possible.
I'll always respect the push, but I'm going to keep reporting exactly what the product does when it lands in the studio. See you in 2027, Elon. Let's see